Morning. Hello, beautiful friends. How are you? Good morning. Welcome to my living room. It's a cozy rainy day here in Tofino. And we're gonna have a little practice. So thanks for joining me. If you want to, before we get started, go ahead and type a hello in the comment box and just say good morning. Let me know that you're here. It's just nice to see everybody. And I can't see you now because my phone's way over there. And but welcome. I know that Patty's here, maybe times 2 Patty. Christy's here. Tracy, welcome. Melinda, possibly. Thanks for coming. So this practice that we're going to do today is a little bit stronger than my usual offering. Most of you know that I teach usually very gentle or restorative. That's kind of my main focus. But I also really love to teach a more active class. And so I was craving to do this with you guys. And so if you find that this, I'm calling it Foundations to Flow, but if you find that at any time it's just too strong for you and you're looking at me and going, holy cow, what is going on? Just take it easy. This is one of the pleasures of practicing at home, is that you can take child's pose, you can rest, you can have a sip of tea, you can pet your cat. So just remember always that this practice is for you, and it's up to you to have the practice serve you in the way that you need it to. So please take what you need from the practice, leave the rest, and just enjoy your time with yourself on the mat. The other thing about today's class is we're going to do a full spectrum practice. So I'm going to offer the warm-up, the poses, but we'll also have some meditation, some breath work as well. So the full circle of yoga offerings inside of our practice today. And one of the things that our yoga gives us is this ability to anchor our joy and our happiness and our sense of peace inside of ourselves. And so what happens is when we get too focused externally on external circumstances like a pandemic and everything that entails, is it can sometimes really throw us off kilter because our world is a little bit out of order, right? So the things that we might anchor our peace and our happiness to might be not happening right now, or they might be different, or they might be uncertain. And so that can make us feel really topsy-turvy. But what our yoga practice does is it helps to anchor our peace and our happiness through our connection with the higher source and through our connection to ourselves. And so we end up feeling like, you know what, nothing's changed after our yoga practice, but I actually just feel much more okay and peaceful about how things are, because that peace is just residing inside and it's not dependent on what's going on in the world anymore. So that's our practice today. I'll invite you to go ahead and sit up nice and tall, find a seat. Find a comfortable seat, and that might be different for you than it is for someone else. So if you want to sit on a bolster or a blanket fold, sit up high enough so that you don't feel like you're falling backwards. And if you need to stretch out a leg or two, please feel free to do that as well. And then we'll go ahead and close our eyes and start to become aware of our inner space, our inner world. And just drawing yourself up nice and tall. With a nice proud heart, soft shoulders, soft face, tiny smile, and just finding your breath. The words Ishvara Pranidan came this morning. Ishvara Pranidan is one of the niyamas, one of the principles of self-direction, like contentment and tapas, discipline, self-study, purity, saucha. One of these niyamas is Ishvara Pranidan, which means surrender to higher source or higher purpose. So just give yourself a nice deep breath in. Breathe all the way in through your nose, and then exhale all the way out through your mouth, all the way down to the bottoms of your feet. And just allow those shoulders to melt down away from your ears a little bit more. And again, as you inhale your next breath, squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears, create tension with your inhale, and then exhale out your mouth and roll the shoulders back and down, releasing that tension. And just go ahead and do that 2 more times at your own pace with a smile. And this idea of surrendering to the higher good, we surrender the fruits of our practice to the higher good here. Bring your hands together at your heart, palms touching, namaskar hands or prayer hands. And just take a moment to feel your heartbeat here. Take a moment to connect to your inner world. How do you feel today? What's present emotionally, physically? And in this moment, just bow your head to your hands, bow your head to your heart, and just acknowledge your own inner teacher and guide today as you move through this practice. Honor yourself, listen to yourself, and be sweet to yourself through your practice today. And we're going to start with 3 ohms. You're welcome to join me if you wish or listen as you like. So we'll take a nice deep breath in. Inhale, fill the lungs up. One more with a smile. The vibration of Om tunes us in to our higher selves, tunes us into each other. So we're connecting, and also it creates a connection between ourselves and all of creation, all living things. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath for a moment. Inhale a little bit more. Expand with prana, with life force through your whole body. And then gently exhale your breath. Release your hands. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Let's go ahead and take the feet out, and you can slide off of your blanket or whatever it is you're sitting on. Oh my gosh, it's chaos in here this morning. So we're going to take the feet a little wider apart than hip distance. I'm just hoping that my phone doesn't start to tilt. It's on a tripod that's a little bit tenuous right now. We're just going to lean back on the hands and start to windshield wiper the knees side to side. And just nice and loose and relaxed through the hips and the spine. And just some nice gentle morning wake up movement. Making the breath nice and long and deep here. So we're oxygenating. Lots of times in the morning in my own practice, it's really guided a lot by like what my body feels like that day. So you might wake up in the morning with different parts of your body that are talking to you or that are stiff. And as those parts call for attention, that will determine what you decide to do that day. Maybe you've got tightness. I've got a lot of tightness in my outer hip and my glute, which is wonderful to have strong glutes, but also nice to stretch them out. All right, good. So let's go ahead and straighten the legs out. Again, you can sit on a blanket fold if you want to. Take your feet out in front. Take your feet a little wider apart than your hips. Bring your hands forward, interlace your fingers. And as you inhale, lean forward as far as your body will go this morning before doing anything. It might feel nice and stiff. And then as you exhale, squeeze your belly in and lean back. Oop, running out of space. Lean back, squeeze the belly. Inhale as you reach forward wherever you end up. That's all good. As you exhale, lean back, squeeze the belly, engage the core. Good. Inhale, lean forward. Feel all that yummy stiffness in the body first thing in the morning. We're going to change that. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, lean forward. Just moving with your breath here. Feel free to close your eyes as the body starts to wake up. And the last one, inhaling forward as far as your body will go. Let your hands release down to your shins, your ankles, your feet. And just slightly tuck the chin. Whatever your hands reach onto for your legs as far as contact goes, just use that to pull your heart forward, pull your shoulders back, whether that's hands on the shins, the ankles, or the feet. And think about lengthening through the crown of the head. So the crown is reaching forward, the back of the neck is long. We're going to take a deep breath in here and an exhale out the mouth, letting yourself melt a little further. Take 2 more of those ha breaths here, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth and a long sigh, and letting yourself melt further forward on that exhale. And don't worry, it's first thing in the morning. You might feel like the Tin Man without oil. Natural and normal. Last one, exhale. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and walk ourselves up. Oh, and by the way, this class might be 60 minutes. It might be a little bit longer because I really want to give you a nice Shavasana. Let's come into tabletop. Feel so free to pad your knees with a blanket fold. I've got a little rug underneath, so it's a little bit softer, but if you're on a hard floor, hard surface, make sure your knees are taken care of. Spread your fingers nice and wide, so really setting the hands, your foundation, your forefingers are parallel to each other, and you want your hands, your wrists slightly wider than your shoulders, so your fingers might hang over the sides of your mat. And we're just going to rock the hips from side to side. So again, it's those gentle morning move motions to see what's there. Checking in. So shifting hips to the right and then back to center, then to the left. Notice which side feels tighter. You can add in breath here if you want, exhaling as the hips sink to one side. Inhaling to center, and then exhaling as the hips sink to the other side. You can let your head and neck get involved if you want to. Letting the head hang loose or leaning in with the shoulders, whatever feels good here. Again, listen to your body. Get really in touch with how you feel in this moment, how the different movements make you feel. We're going to take these hips now in a circle. So as you exhale, bring the hips back towards the heels. As you inhale, bring the hips to the left and forward into like a baby plank. Then as you exhale, hips to the right and back. Just making a giant circle with the hips. Inhaling, hips to the left and forward. To the right and back. And again, just letting your body move intuitively any way that feels good. Any way that feels delicious and yummy. And change direction of our circles, go around the other way. Inhaling forward as you exhale to the side and back. Good. If you really have sensitive knees, I know some of you do, you can always put a bolster under your knees or like a double fold of blanket. Just don't be shy about adjusting as you need to. You're at home, so you're the boss, yeah? Take the knees a little bit wider apart, maybe as wide as your mat. Have your big toes pointing behind you towards each other, and then sink your head, your heart towards the mat. Come into child's pose. Melt the heart, melt the belly. Find whatever works for your head and your neck. So you might have your head resting on your hands if you need to support the head, or maybe resting it on the floor. And just pause here. Go soft, go inward. Feel your breath. And really exhale. Exhale deeply and fully. So you're emptying your lungs all the way out each time. You can breathe out through the mouth or the nose, your choice. You can bring a little smile to the corners of the mouth. As you breathe, sinking the hips towards the heels. Surrender here. So a lot of the discomfort that we may be feeling right now, and I feel it too, it comes and goes in waves, is resistance. It's us fighting against what's happening. Like, we don't want it. Creating more suffering for ourselves. So the surrender is key. Yeah? Surrender and trust. I know it's tricky, but that's what we're being called to do here. Let's go ahead and lift the head. Go ahead and lift the elbows so your arms are straight, and bring your hands onto fingertips. So you've got tented hands. Somebody once said to me, I think it was Marcia, she's like, it's like you're holding a cupcake and you don't want to get icing on your hand. And I was like, oh, I can relate to that. All right, we're going to walk the hands over to the right side, keeping the elbows lifted. It doesn't have to be a long ways over to the right, but keep the hands tented, and then just gently bow the head in. Again, melt the heart. Just take one ha breath here. Inhale, nose. Exhale, sigh. That's the other thing I like about home practice. You can make as much noise as you want to. All right, let's lift head, walk hands back through center, over to the other side. I might get my lefts and my rights mixed up a little bit here too, but I'll do my best. Let the head hang down. Keep the elbows lifted. Forehead may not touch, that's okay. Just give yourself a ha breath here. Beautiful. So if there's anything your body's loving, feel free to stay there longer. We'll walk back to center. If there's any pose that your body just finds wonderful, just feel free to take more time where you need to. We're going to come into downward dog. Now, if you don't do downward dog for whatever reason, shoulders, issues, etc., just take a child's pose and we'll meet you in another position. If you're taking downward dog, spread your fingers. Hands are wider than shoulders slightly. Curl your toes under and shift your hips back to your heels. So the arms are straight, and we're going to turn the inner part of the elbow forward. I'm paying a bit of attention to our downward dog setup today because this class is called Foundations to Flow, and we might use our downward dog a lot when we're flowing. And we don't give a lot of time to setting it up. So turn the inner part of your elbow towards the front of your mat, yeah? From there, press your hands into the mat strongly. Press the tips of your finger pads into the mat so your nail beds turn white. And just hover your knees a little bit off the mat. So we're gonna lift the knees slightly, but keep them quite bent. And then let the head hang down between the arms. If you're in child's pose, you're just breathing and enjoying a few moments of peace there. If you're coming into downward dog, start to lift the hips way, way up, and then start to draw the outer heels down towards the mat. We're going to do a little bit of movement here with breath. Keep the inner elbows pointing forward. We're going to exhale, bend the knees quite generously so your ribs might come on your thighs, your forehead might melt towards the ground. As you inhale, press your hips up, lift your heels. As you exhale, press your outer heels down towards the mat. I'm going to take an inhale breath here. And then as you exhale, bend your knees quite generously. Even lowering the knees a little, bring your ribs onto your thighs. As you inhale, lift your hips way, 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 way up. As you exhale, bring the outer heels towards the mat. And do not worry that they don't touch. That is okay. They're just moving in that direction. Good. And then lower the knees. Whew. And we're going to step the right foot forward. So if you're in downward dog, meet us in tabletop here. Step your right foot forward. I'm going to slide this under my knees because I didn't use it on the other down pose and they were like cranky, like, where's my blanket? All right, so shift your hips as far forward as they go. As you inhale, reach your arms up. And just check that your front knee is over your front ankle. I'm going to draw the navel in a little bit and lift up through the front body. Take your arms a little bit wider, like in a big V. And that will allow your shoulders to drop down your back, away from your ears, and your heart to be able to lift a little. And just taking some nice deep breath here, either looking forward or lifting the gaze, see what feels good. Lifting the heart slightly, smiling the front body. Surrendering to the moment. Just being here on the mat with your breath, such a blessing. What a privilege that we get to wake up on a Saturday morning and do yoga. and have food to eat and a roof over our heads. What a blessing it is. Okay, so when you're ready to exhale, let your hands come down to the mat. We're going to keep the left hand on the mat and inhale, sweep the right hand up for the twist. So you can modify if you have shoulder issues, you can bring your hand to your hip. But I want you to think about opening the heart up towards the ceiling, drawing the right shoulder back. This left hand can be on fingertips to build strength on the hand, or you can put your hand on a block if you want to, palm flat. And just one more breath here, inhaling and lifting the heart. And then as you exhale your next breath, release your right hand down to the mat. Keep breathing here, lift your back knee, gently step forward to forward bend. And surrender into your forward bend, feet parallel, hip distance apart. You can bend your knees a little bit if you want to for taking care of low back here. Feel free to cross your arms and sway the torso slightly. Creating a little bit of length in the spine. Nice deep breath here. Let the head and neck hang loose. Then we'll release the hands and step the right foot back, lower the back knee. Bring the hands up, shift your hips as far forward as they'll go. Check that knee over ankle situation. Draw the belly in slightly and reach arms up. To draw the shoulders down the back, take the hands a little wider like in a V. And breathe into the front body, nice and proud, lifting the heart. Optional to lift the gaze if you keep the back of your neck nice and long without cranking the head back, lifting the back of the scalp, the back of the skull. And just breathing here, being here, bright through the front body, open through the heart. Just ready to take whatever is offered in stride. This time in our lives on the planet, we're really being asked to be humble as well, right? There's no place for arrogance right now or self-importance. Just sort of surrendering to the collective good. When you're ready to exhale, release your hands down. Ooh la la. Good morning, body. We're going to step forward to the top of the mat. Forward bend. Good. We're going to do 3 half lifts here. As you inhale, look up, hands to the knees, open the heart, draw the shoulders back and lengthen through the crown. Bend your knees as much as you want. As you exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale to lift and lengthen, drawing the heart and belly forward, opening the chest. As you exhale, melt and fold. And inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, fold. And this time we're going to reverse swan dive as we come up. Inhale with a strong belly, reach your arms up to the sides and overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. Woohoo, there's blue sky starting to peek out. That's exciting in this place. Something to celebrate. All right, so we're going to interlace the fingers here. Press the palms forward, so you're stretching the fingers, and then reach the arms up overhead. Good. So you're going to press the palms up to stretch the fingers, and then if you want to, lift the heels and come into a balance. Breathe, set your gaze, set your drishti. Try to draw the shoulders down away from the ears a little bit. So if you find that they're really scrunching up, let them melt down slightly. Breathe here, smile. Good, now think about which fingers are crossed where, because we're going to switch it next time. So let's try to remember that cellularly, how it feels in your body. And as you exhale your next breath, swan dive. Heels down, forward bend. Inhale to half lift, looking up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Reach arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Take a cleansing breath. Inhale nose, exhale mouth. Good, and then we're going to change the cross of the fingers. Sometimes you have to kind of try it like, oh, no, I did it that way. Do it the other way. Press the palms forward, stretching the fingers, the palms and the wrists. Reach the arms up overhead. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Keep breathing here. Lift the heels, set your gaze, set your drishti on one point. Balance and breathe. Nice. On your exhale breath, we're going to swan dive again. Heels down, forward fold, all the way down. And we'll inhale, half lift, looking forward. Exhale and fold. Good. Keep breathing here. Inhale, step your left foot back. Bring your back heel down to the mat so your back foot's parallel to the back of your mat. Let me think here. Did I say take your left foot back? Can I change it? Can you take your right foot back? I think that will be better because then, yeah, we'll inhale, arms up, warrior two. Oh my gosh, now I've really messed us up because some of us are going to go one way and some of us are going to go the other. Doesn't matter, I'll adjust. Okay, so whichever foot you have forward matters not. Check that your front foot is pointing straight forward and your back foot is parallel to the back of your mat, and really ground the outer edge of that back foot. So you feel this back leg get really firm and straight. If you find your back knees bent a little bit, straighten and strengthen and straighten that leg. Good. Bring your right hand to your belly. It doesn't matter which hand to the belly, one to the low back. Go ahead and straighten your front leg as well. Lift your front foot toes. This is the foundations part, right? Whatever part is touching the ground is your foundation. If it's your hands, it's your hands. If it's your feet. Lift the toes, spread your toes. Check out your second toe. When you bend your knee, make sure it's in line with the second toe. That invisible line goes through the knee to the second toe. Then let the toes relax down. That knee is in a beautiful, safe position here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to swing the hips back. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I'm kind of leaning my torso to the side, forward to the side, and sending my sit bones back behind me to the other side of the mat. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hug my legs towards each other. So I'm going to try to pull my front foot towards my back foot. That's going to engage all sorts of goodies in our torso and in our core. Then keeping that hugging action in, I want you to draw the tailbone down and draw the belly in. So the belly, the navel moves in and up. Then rest your right elbow or your front elbow on your front thigh. Bring your left hand or your top hand to your ribs. And then start to open towards the ceiling. So you're drawing the belly, the ribs, everything sort of up off of that front thigh and drawing your heart, your top shoulder back. Okay? Watch that the front knee, and here's the foundation. When you're doing all of this opening, the front knee might cheat and want to collapse in. So try to keep that knee wide and aligned over the front toes. You're going to feel this in the inner thigh and the front leg. Good. So you can either stay here, or if there's no shoulder issues, you can extend that top arm, reaching it up. Spread the fingers. You have lots of energy in that hand. If you want to, bring the arm alongside the ear for extended side angle. Maybe looking up if it feels good, or keeping the head neutral, whatever feels nice in your neck here. Smile and breathe. Be in the moment. Surrender the fruits of your practice to the greater good. Our practice can become like a form of worship, right? Whatever your religious beliefs are, offer up the fruits of your practice to the higher good. I do this practice to take care of myself and so that I'm a balanced human being so I can go out in the world and be of service, right? Offer it up. On your inhale, come back to warrior two. Ooh la la, straighten the front leg. Reach the right arm or the front arm forward as far as it will go. And then let it rest down on the shin. Or you can take it to a block on the outside of the leg, or hand on fingertips, triangle pose. If you're leaning the hand on the shin, try not to push down on your shin. Try to pull your shin up with your hand, and that will also activate all sorts of fun stuff in your torso and your core. Good. Smile, breathe. Good. Reaching that top hand up And when you're ready to exhale, bring that top hand forward and down. Now we're going to pivot the front foot so that it's parallel to the back foot and come into a wide-legged forward bend here. So your feet are going to be slightly pigeon-toed. Turn the toes in a little so the heels are slightly wider than your toes. You can have hands on the mat. You can even bend your knees a little bit here if you find this pose quite challenging, if your back is rounding a lot. Just taking a couple of breaths here. You could bring the hands to the ankles if you wish. And do what feels sweet. Listen to your body. Honor yourself. That's what you're here for. Super yummy. Okay, let's bring the hands to the hips. Draw your shoulders up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your thighs towards each other. And as you inhale, come all the way up with a flat back. Hello again. All right, now we're going to turn the toes out, heels in. You saw how I repositioned the feet so they now have a 45-degree angle. Good, now lift your toes, bend your knees, and drop your tailbone straight down for goddess pose or God pose. Try to widen the knees here. You might even take your upper thighs and just externally rotate them. Pull the fronts of the thighs back to open the hips even more. So trying to widen the knees, relax your toes if you like. We're going to do 3 bear breath here. So it looks like this. I'll do one for your entertainment. You look up through the top of your head. You growl, you stick out your tongue. Here it goes. These are your claws. Let's do 3 together. Inhale, look up, stick out your tongue and growl. Good, 2 more. 1 more. Awesome. Stretch up into a 5-pointed star. Inhale, keep breathing, reach out, give the world a big hug. That bear comes from lion, of course, Simhasan. It's really good for dispelling negative energy. So you need to go in your car and do lion pose to get rid of that negative energy. Please feel free. Bring your hands to your hips. And this, we're going to turn our front foot now to be our back foot. So it's going to be parallel now to the front of your mat. Turn your back foot towards the back of your mat. Good. Lift the front foot toes, now it's your back foot, now your front foot. Bend your front knee in line with second toe. Ground through the edge of the back foot. Warrior 2. Good. If you want to take that time to do that, sending the hips back, squeeze the thighs together, and then drawing the navel in and up, scooping the tailbone down, right? So your tailbone has this sort of ice cream scoop shape anyways. And if you imagine that your tailbone is kind of scooping under, that's going to give you the kind of alignment and activation through the torso that you can use for your back bends, for your standing poses, all of it. All right. Keeping all of that loveliness, bring your elbow down to your bent knee thigh. Bring your top hand to the ribs. Trying to pull the belly and the ribs off of the thigh. Open the chest. Keep that knee in check. And breathe. If you want to reach that top hand up, you can. Draw lots of space between the top shoulder and the ear. Maybe bringing the arm alongside the head. Really stretching that side body long. Good. Smiling, breathing, lifting the heart. Good. 1 more breath here. You guys got this. We're going to inhale back to warrior 2. Remember, if it's needing a break, take a break. This is your practice. Straighten that front leg, which is now your back leg. Reach the arm forward as far as it will go, and then float it down to the thigh or the shin. Draw the belly in, open the chest, reach the top arm up for triangle. And again, you don't have to look up. You could be looking at the wall, just keeping the neck in a neutral line. So watching that the head doesn't hang down, but keeping it in sweet alignment with the rest of your spine, or even looking upwards. Good. Remember to breathe. Good. Nice. And then let's release. Bring that top hand down. Bring it down to the mat. You can bend that back leg and walk your hands again over to the side of the mat. Wide-legged forward bend. So now your feet again pivot. So they're slightly pigeon-toed. Heels are slightly wider than your ankles, wider than your toes. You can really do whatever you want with your hands here. You might be here and your hands are on the ground. Just pause and breathe. Breathe into the areas of your body that you feel this, and be completely present to that experience, that sensation. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and walk ourselves up. Actually, let's bring hands to the hips. We'll come up the same way we did on the other side. So squeeze your thighs together, hands on the hips, draw your shoulders up. As you inhale, look forward and come all the way up with a flat back. Strong legs. Good. Nice. We're going to heel toe the feet in and come into a yogi squat. So if your feet are a little wider apart than your hips, turn the toes out. If you have knees that are kind of cranky and they don't go into a deep flexion, just rest your elbows on your thighs and keep your head lifted. If your hips do go down, find your yogi squat. Elbows on the insides of the knees. Think about lifting your toes here. Think about pressing the pinky side of your foot down into the mat. That will widen the hips and the knees. Then relax the toes down, but keep the pinky side of the foot pressing down. Lift up through the crown, tuck your chin, and just be here with your breath. Little smile, little moment to ourselves. Such a great pose for resetting the natural curves of your spine. It's great for elimination, digestion, ankles, hips, knees, you name it. And let's take one deep breath here. Inhale and exhale. So sweet. Good. Release your hands down to the mat. We're going to gently lift the hips. Walk your feet into a forward bend. Feet parallel, hip distance apart. On your inhale, reverse swan dive. Reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. So I hope I still have you guys here. Some of you might be kicking back on the couch with your legs up watching the show. I do know we have a wide variety of, there's a couple of you that are in different places in your practice and your needs are different. So this is where you get to be the decider, the director of what you need to do to get the most out of your practice today. So we're going to do one balancing pose and we're going to come down to the mat. So I'll invite you to take your left foot, spread your toes. You can manually spread them if you want. Make your left foot your standing leg. Bring your hands to your hips. So the first stage of this is just lifting the right knee, flexing the right foot. So pull the toes up towards the ceiling. Hips are level. Draw your belly in and grow tall through the top of your head. Lengthen. This could be your pose. This is step one, stage one. If you want to take it another step, take that right ankle and place it on top of your left thigh, so just above the knee here. Make sure this foot is flexed, the toes are pulling towards the knee, and then if you like, you can start to sit down into a one-legged chair. So juicy. Good. Even spreading the toes on that foot, you can set your hips down. Choose your drishti, your gazing point here. You can actually move into an arm balance here if that's part of your practice and you know that pose. You can bring the arms down. I'm going to stay here for today. This is what I need. Yeah, good. The deeper you sit and the closer that shin comes to your chest, if you fold over, you get even deeper stretch into the outer right hip. So you can really take it to wherever you want to go. You could bring the hands down if you want to. It kind of takes away the balancing element. And take a nice deep breath here. And we're going to come out the same way we went in, with control and focus. Sticking the landing. Nice. Come into mountain. Arms beside the body. Palms facing forward and breathe. All right, let's try the other side. So right foot, spread the toes. That makes bigger surface area when you're balancing. So your foot is like more like a big foot. Better balance, right? Hands to the hips. First step, just lift the left knee. Flex the left foot. Hips stay level. Draw the belly in, grow tall. Standing leg is straight and strong. A little bit of a smile on our faces. Good. If you want to take it the next step, bring that left ankle on top of the knee. Keep the toes active and flexed. Start to sit down. You can bring your hands to your heart. Keep your gaze steady. Find your one-legged chair. Whatever you did on the other side, do the same thing here. Think about keeping the heart open, shoulders back, smiling and breathing. It's a great outer hip stretch for things like piriformis syndrome or sciatica. This can be a lovely stretch if you're a runner, but you can also do it laying on your back. It doesn't have to be a balance. Good, one more breath here. And I'm slowly going to come up, nice and controlled, and release. Good, back to mountain. Find your center. Breathe into the front body. So sweet. Nice job, everybody. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And we're going to step back to downward dog and come into child's pose. Whatever child's pose you like, you can have the knees together, which is more of a stretch for the low back, a massage for the internal organs, or you can have your knees wide, which is more of a hip opener, or somewhere in the middle, which is just relaxing. Make space for the belly to breathe. And just go inward again here. Allow your breath to go back to its natural rhythm. Settle and absorb what you've done so far. Good. When you're ready to inhale, come all the way back up. I'm going to sit the hips to the side. Come to seated. We're going to come into a deer pose, which is a yin posture. And now typically, well, let's set it up and I'll tell you. Typically yin postures we do when the body is cold, not when the muscles are hot, because we want to target the connective tissues and the fascia a little bit more, but we're going to cheat. So you're going to bring your right shin so that it's parallel to the front of your mat. This is another great hip opener here. Look for your right knee to be making a 90-degree angle. So this is all about you setting up the geometry of your joints. So the right knee is making a 90-degree angle. Flex your right foot so it's also making a 90-degree angle at your ankle. The shin is parallel to the top of your mat. This always reminds me of math class, the geometry section in your textbook. So we've got that, right angles, 90-degree angles. Do the same with your back leg. So you want to bring your back thigh so it's parallel to your front thigh. And this is where people start to get a little bit confused. Sometimes that back leg, they have it up here. Try to bring that back thigh parallel to the front shin. Same thing here, 90-degree angle at your knee. right? Right angles. Same at the ankle, flex your foot. So that's another thing that happens is sometimes people bring the foot back behind. These are the common mistakes I see. So just check for it, that everything is at 90 degrees. It's like boxes. Everything is boxes. And then what we're gonna do is face forward and start to fold over the front knee. Now, typically in a yin deer pose, what you're attempting to do is trying to keep that back hip rooted down and at the same time fold forward. So it kind of depends on how picky you are about stuff like that. If you want to, you could take your back hand and kind of weight that back hip back. I usually don't worry about it too much because I feel like even if my hip lifts, I still feel a nice stretch in this front thigh, this front hip, which is what I'm looking for. So if you're not getting anything here and you want to make it more challenging, try walking your upper body more towards the foot. So the more the foot is moving towards the face, the deeper this pose gets. So find where for you, you get a nice challenge that you can breathe into, but it's not you in over your head, right? You want to find peace, a peacefulness wherever you are. A place to breathe. You can close your eyes and be there fully with the experience of the mild discomfort. Or maybe it's not mild, maybe it's more than mild. The invitation there is to breathe into that experience of discomfort or challenge. And in this way, we're training ourselves up to be able to breathe and be at ease with discomfort in our lives, as well as the discomfort that we find in our practice. It's a transferable skill. I really like to use the ha breath here. If you want, inhale nose, exhale mouth. Let yourself soften with that out breath. Remember, if anything about that doesn't feel good, like in your low back or anywhere else, if the knee is giving you some complaints, don't stay there. Go ahead and come out if needed. Surrender again. Sometimes when we need to learn things or things need to change or shift, they're not comfortable in life, as in our yoga practice. Unfortunately. Let's go ahead and walk our way up. That is feeling so good. For me this morning, I had a big tightness in my outer hip, so that's where I'm gravitating. Now, if you want, what feels sweet in between is those windshield wipers, just to kind of counterpose that. You can do a little bit of that soft side to side. I often used to say that in relationships, in my past relationships, most of the learning happened at times when there were difficulties going on. And when everything's sunshine and fairy tales, and you're just rolling around in bed giggling, that's fun. It gets you through the hard times, but the hard times were the learning times, right? That seems to be how it works. Okay, let's do the other side. So I've turned towards the back of my mat. Same thing. Now you've got your other shin parallel to the end of the mat, right angle at your front foot, your ankle. If you already know deer pose, just go ahead and come into it. But I'm just going to break it down here to make sure that everybody's got it. So check the knee. The shin is parallel to the end of the mat. The knee is 90 degrees. The ankle, 90 degrees, foot flexed. Back leg, parallel to the shin, right? So if it's up here, that's a different pose. If it's back here, that's a different pose. So parallel, right angle at the knee, right angle at the shin, not the foot back here, but there. Ankle. Turn towards that front leg and start to fold forward. Whew. Now again, if you're folded over the shin and the knee, and you need some deeper opening, if that's not doing it for you, move more towards the foot. Just make sure that foot is happily flexed, that the pinky toe is pulling up to the knee, so that your knee is in proper alignment while you stretch the hip, yeah? Now this side's a bit tighter for me, so just taking a few deep breaths here. Really focus on surrendering on your exhale. Breathing out through the mouth. Notice your reaction to the sensations as they start to build. Is there a tendency to want to run away from that feeling? Is your brain going, get me out, ah, ah, ah? How is your ability to sit in that discomfort and be there fully with the experience and the sensation? Surrender. The other thing about yin postures, there's a little bit longer holds, right? Usually a minute to 5 minutes. But you're welcome to come out anytime when if you feel that serves you better. So yummy. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Full inhales, full exhales. Okay, let's go ahead and walk our way up with helping hands. Nice and sweet. A little bit of windshield wipers again. So I think what I'll do is I'll make the meditation optional if you have the time this morning. So we'll come to laying down on your back. We'll do Shavasana, and I will guide through Shavasana. Bring your knees into your chest and just hug your knees, rock a little side to side. I'll bring everybody out of Shavasana, and then I'll continue with some pranayama and meditation. But of course, if you've only allocated an hour for your yoga this morning, you're so welcome to toddle off. Maybe you're going to the farmer's market. Yeah? Okay, let's hug the right knee in. Stretch the left leg up towards the ceiling. Flex your left foot toes. Bring your right knee in towards your right shoulders. Give it a good squeeze. Press the backs of your shoulders down into the mat. Squeeze your belly. As you exhale, slowly lower the left leg. If there's any discomfort in the low back, bend your left knee as needed. Good, and we're just going to hover the left heel just off the floor, or you can lower the left leg all the way down. You're going to hover your left heel just over the floor and just do a little bit of a pulsation here where it lifts and lowers. You're pulsing your left foot just slightly off the floor and squeezing the belly in, nice and strong. Breathe. Squeeze belly, squeeze belly. Good, and then release the left leg down. Stretch the right leg up. Interlace your fingers behind the right thigh. Flex your right foot. Place your hands right in the belly of your hamstring, so halfway between your knee and your hip. Press up through your right heel. Flex your foot, spread your toes, and then press your right thigh into your hands away from your face. So your arms straighten out, and there's all this sort of activation that happens when you press your thigh into your hands. Your core might engage. You might feel your mula bandh engage. Breathe. This is a great back set, by the way. If you have back issues, low back issues, this can be really sweet. Good, and we'll release the right leg down and change sides. Bring the left knee in. Give it a little hug. I'm going to tuck the shoulders under the back a little. Press the back of the shoulders down, raise your right leg up. Flex your foot, squeeze your belly, make your right quad really strong and fired up, and as you exhale, slowly lower the right leg down. Take your time, keep breathing here. At the bottom, you're just going to hover the heel, kind of pulsing the heel here. Squeeze the belly, that's the main focus. Breathe and squeeze your belly here. Good, and then gently release the right leg down. Keep the right foot active. So it was already active when it was up. Flex the right foot, press the right thigh down, the straight leg thigh, and then straighten your left leg. Interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. Resist the temptation to put the hands at the knee. You want it down in the fleshy belly of the hamstrings. Flex your foot, press up through the left heel, and then press your thigh, your left back of your thigh into your hands. Breathe. Smile. Good. And then gently release. So sweet. Okay, twist of choice. I'm leaving this up to you. You could do windshield wipers if you want to. You could do a single knee twist, a double knee twist. Really let yourself go with what you feel would be best for you in this moment. Close your eyes and take your twist. If you're doing one side with a hold, switch sides, do the second side. This is the bliss of pre-Shavasana, knowing that the best part is yet to come. When you're ready, let yourself stretch out. Find your Shavasana position. If you have some bolster under the knees or a blanket over your body, let your arms stretch out a little ways away from the body. Let the feet fall open. Tuck your shoulders under your back. Make sure that your heels are on the ground. Close your eyes. Just give yourself a nice deep breath in here through the nose and exhale a sigh out the mouth. Begin to take your awareness through your body down to your toes. Just feeling each part of your body soften. As I say each body part, you can feel that body part letting go and surrendering. Your toes, your heels, letting go. The soles of your feet, the tops of your feet, your ankles, your shins, melting your calves, your knees, soften, your thighs, your hips, your belly, ribs, soften. Feel the breath gently rise and fall in your torso, in your belly, in your ribs, in your chest. Relax your heart. Melt your shoulders, your upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, thumbs. Soften the back of your hands. Let the arms go limp and heavy. No place you have to be. Nobody you have to be. No place you have to go. Soften your tailbone, the small of your back, middle back, upper back. Melt each part one by one. Back of your neck, the back of your head, the sides of your head, the crown, inside your brain. Relax it. Soften your forehead, your eyebrows, your temples, cheeks, nose, ears, lips, teeth, tongue, jaw, throat. Feel yourself as whole, complete. From Patanjali Sutras, Swami Satchitananda writes, once we give everything over to the higher purpose, the higher source, we are renunciates. We have nothing to possess, nothing to own, nothing to acquire. And when we have nothing to possess, we have nothing to worry about. All worry is due to attachments and clinging to possessions. The attachment, is a mental attachment. What we want is a mental rather than a physical detachment. We can even possess things physically if we are mentally detached. This is continuous samadhi, realization, enlightenment. That's samadhi. We shouldn't think samadhi means sitting in a corner, forgetting ourselves and keeping the body still like a rock. Real samadhi means tranquility of the mind, which is possible only when we dedicate everything and are free from all attachment. Ishvara Pranidan. So you're welcome to rest here longer if that's what you need. Really do what you need here above all else. If you feel like it's time to stretch and wiggle your fingers and your toes, go ahead and do that mindfully, sweetly. Breathing deeper, feeling refreshed and renewed from your practice. When you're ready to stretch, take a stretch. You can roll onto your right side into fetal position, maybe still with the eyes closed, just resting your head on your arm for support. Still breathing deeply, feeling fully in the moment. Maybe the body stays here. Or if you feel to, use your helping hands on the floor and slowly walk yourself up, just rolling your spine, coming up gently, finding your seat, head and neck coming up last. And then sitting up nice and tall and comfortable, whatever that looks like for you. Find your seat. Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Just be you here in this moment. Find your tiny smile. Bring your hands together at your heart. We'll close with one Om, and then I'll continue with an optional meditation if you want to stay longer. So bringing the hands together in Namaskar. It's a gesture of balance and respect, honoring ourselves in the practice, honoring each other, and all of creation of which we are an integral part, not separate, not alone, but one. And as a symbol of that oneness, we can make the sound of Om, the unifying sound and vibration of the universe. You can take a deep cleansing breath, inhale, exhale. Inhale for Om, chant or listen. Om. Finish with a deep breath and a smile in your heart. Tranquility and peace flowing with you throughout the day. May all beings be peaceful, happy, and free. Namaste. Namaste to you. And I know you're smiling and namasteing to each other in your minds. So have a beautiful day. If you need to head off now, thank you for joining me. You're such beautiful souls. Take care. Be well. If you'd like to stay and meditate, we'll do a little bit of alternate nostril breathing. And then we'll sit and do a little metta meditation, sending loving kindness from our heart, about 5 minutes, I think. And you're also welcome to stay longer in that space if you want to. So just sitting tall, find your dominant hand if you're right-handed, left hand if you're left-handed. One method to do this practice is to fold down your middle finger and your forefinger. Your ring and your thumb are sticking up, and we use those to close off the nostrils. Some people also like to do it where they put the middle finger and forefinger on the third eye and use the ring and the thumb to close off the nostrils. Whatever floats your boat. Making sure that the spine is nice and straight. The other hand just resting on your knee. Just start by taking some nice natural breath through both nostrils. You can close your eyes if you like. Again, relaxing the face into a subtle smile. And keeping the neck and head nice and straight, exhale through both nostrils. Close the right and inhale through the left. Steady, smooth, and comfortable breath. As slow as you're comfortable breathing. Close your left, exhale through right. Inhale through right. Relax your forehead. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. In the neck and head straight. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. And release the hands to both knees. Breathe through both nostrils. Find your little smile. From this place of tranquility and peace, imagine at your heart center there's a light, very bright light. It's the light of metta, loving kindness. And as you inhale each breath, visualize the light growing brighter and brighter. As you exhale, imagine the light expanding outwards from your chest, sending loving kindness from your heart center. Each inhale, it brightens and strengthens. Each exhale, it stretches outward into the room around you, into your house, into your neighbor's house, to the streets. And just continue to send metta, loving kindness from your heart outwards to the world, your community, the valley, the place that you live. If you like, you can place hands on the heart if that helps you connect more. Just visualizing that love and kindness spreading outwards to the world, sending it everywhere. Wishing everyone well, wishing them peace, wishing them health, wishing them happiness. If the mind wanders, as it does, bring it back gently to the light of loving kindness and metta, or Maitri, as they call it in Sanskrit. See how far you can send it. Can you wrap it around the planet like a big hug, enveloping everything and everyone? Allow yourself to bask in that metta. Soak it in for yourself as well. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in and exhale, softening. Gently bow your head towards your hands, just acknowledging the power of your heart and how effectively it can communicate with the hearts of others. That connection, always there. May all beings be peaceful, happy, and free. Namaste again to everyone. Have a beautiful day. Be good to yourselves and others. Be kind.